Hey, basketball friends, it's Tom Aberstroh.
And Kevin Arnovitz.
We've got a new podcast on Leverage the Chat Network that you should check out. It's called Pack Your Knives, where we break down the Bravo TV show Top Chef week to week.
So here's the idea. What if two NBA writers geeked out on their favorite TV show, Top Chef, like they do on basketball?
We've been doing this for a long, long time. Kevin and I are super fans of the show, and we decided to take you along for the ride. We'll break down the X's and O's. We're going to draft fantasy teams of contestants and just generally geek out.
So subscribe to Pack Your Knives podcast on Apple Podcasts and on leveragethechat.com.
Giant ice cube.
It's great, but it's melty.
I thought that was the point of the giant milk cube. That sounds horrible.
I'm gonna keep all this in. Welcome to the Talk Hoops podcast. I'm your host, Zach Harper. This is a podcast on the Leverage Chat Network. The voice you just heard rambling about ice is Angie Treasure. She works for 1280 The Zone, 1280 Sports, covering the Utah Jazz. I'm a national NBA writer for FanRag Sports. You can check out my work on fanragsports.com. You can check out all of our podcasts. Go to leveragethechat.com. We got a bunch of them. I'm not going to list them all right now because you know what they are. But today, we've got your SnarkHoops questions. We've got our Gilmore Girls Netflix and Chilton segment. And we've got some basketball stuff to discuss. First, I have two stories. Should I recount the laundry room incident? Because I do want to know, or should I talk about my dog's bleeding face?
Your dog's face bled?
I've been dealing with that a lot today. So he had.
Did you punch Boogie in the face?
I mean, we got into a real fisticuff, a real kerfuffle, as Andy Larson would say.
I was listening to the mailbag because I missed it, and then I felt bad, and then I listened to it, and I was like, "This is way better without me on it." But
then you felt worse.
But yeah, because I'm like, oh, I'd totally bring down this content. Mm-hmm. But I was listening to it, and I didn't have anything to contribute to the whole fighting segment, so it would have been pointless anyway.
So, you've never thrown a punch?
No.
Slap?
No.
Push?
I dream about it all the time.
What?
I dream about hitting people.
What?
My recurring dreams include my teeth falling out.
Okay.
And
that's supposed to be stress related, right?
It's an anxiety thing, yeah. Okay. And I dream about like going to throw a punch, but I do it wrong and it lands funny, and then it's never satisfying is what I'm saying.
Oh, see, I've had that dream a lot where like I'm getting in a fight with someone and I punch them really hard, except they don't feel it at all, and then I realize like I'm not throwing the punch properly.
Yeah.
That I actually have that dream a lot. I wonder what that means.
That also seems anxiety related, or it's performance related.
Ooh.
So I'll leave that up to you.
Ooh. No real pop in my punch, I guess. But yeah, my dog's face has been bleeding today. So he had like bulldogs occasionally get acne. Uh-huh. And so he's just had this one little like thing kind of growing on his left cheek. And I knew it's a pimple or whatever. And so his face is pretty dirty because we've gone to the dog park a lot lately. So I wiped down his face with some disinfectant wipes or whatever for dogs.
I was going to say, I hope it's not just like a Clorox wipe.
Straight bleach.
I'm like, Zach, that is why your dog's face is bleeding. It can't handle that kind of chemicals directly inside.
Yeah, I used Comet. Just give him a little scrub. But no, so I wiped him down, and then he always freaks out after that. And so he was like rubbing his face, and that like raised bump, which is a pimple or whatever, he must have rubbed it on the floor or something, because all of a sudden like he walked over and like his face is bleeding. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, it looks worse on a dog with white fur, right? Because the red contrast and everything. Mm-hmm. So I start cleaning it. It really won't stop bleeding. And I keep and then like every time I clean it, he then wants to wipe his face more because he really doesn't like having his face wiped. So I've been battling him all day of trying to like clean the wound, get the blood off his fur, and then stop him from rubbing his face all over the couch and the carpet and stuff or the rug, because then he will just get blood all over it when he reopens it.
You have a lot of blood stories.
Well, I have two, and I've told them both, I guess, on the last two podcasts. But so I was dealing with that a lot this afternoon, and it just kept just bleeding a little bit too much to where I couldn't let it go. But eventually, I used a little peroxide to clean it, and I put him in his crate, and then he didn't rub it, and now he's been fine.
Wow,
but his face has been bleeding. Yeah, his face has been bleeding. There's a
beginning, there's a conflict, there's a resolution, there's the end of it. It was just a solid story. You need a cone in those types of situations.
Well, I guess, but then I'm just keeping a cone around in case he gets acne?
I mean, if you don't want his face to bleed.
This is the first time his face has ever bled.
All right.
So,
well,
yeah.
You never ask about my pet.
You have a cat. Cats aren't interesting.
Sure they are.
How's your cat?
She's great. She's very well behaved.
Okay.
She doesn't bleed on any of my stuff.
Okay.
And she doesn't bark when I'm podcasting. I'm looking at her right now.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
See, now that's interesting because while my story had a beginning, middle, and end, your story had almost zero structure and no contribution to the podcast.
Oh, hey, did you rescue your pet or did you buy him from an expensive breeder?
Some would say I rescued him from a puppy mill by giving thousands of dollars to them.
That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm like, who's really the better human being here?
Well, if people gave away French bulldogs, then I would have rescued one. Of course, anyone can rescue a cat. Nobody wants cats. They have them and then they just throw them out.
Everyone wants cats. They would if they knew what was good for them.
I'm out on cats. You know that.
It's a great pet. She's perfect.
Sure.
She has a boy's name, though, because I thought she was a boy when she was born.
What's the name?
Atticus.
Atticus, right. Okay.
She looked at me. She knows her name.
Okay, well, that's amazing. I taught my dog how to high five, so.
Wow.
Who's smarter? I don't know.
He gets anxious diarrhea when he's at guest house. That's
it happened twice.
Boogie's great. I'm just saying.
Okay.
I don't like going outside, so not having to walk anything is preferential.
Yeah, that's the first good point you've made.
Well, thanks for tuning in.
All right, Victor Oladipo. Let's talk about the Indiana Pacers and Victor Oladipo.
How are they good?
This is my question. I'm not trying to be rude when it comes to the Pacers. But I just assumed they were, and I don't think this is even just me not being able to adjust my expectations. I just assumed they would be largely irrelevant this year. You trade away Paul George, Victor Oladipo and Domantas Sabonis, fine players, but not anything where you're like, oh wow, great trade for them. Like the fact they didn't get a draft pick in that trade was crazy. And everyone kind of killed it at the time, and I think rightfully so. Through the first 27 games, it looks fine because they're 16-11. They're an offensive juggernaut right now. They're second in the league in three-point percentage at 39.5%, which is ridiculous. Victor Oladipo has been just a hero. Like he's been so good. Basically leading this team. They started the season with Miles Turner out for a little bit, and they still just kept winning. Their offense or their defense is okay. But the other thing is this is a Nate McMillan coach team, and they're 10th in pace, I believe.
That's wild.
10th or 11th in pace, that's crazy. His teams never play fast, and so I'm really trying to figure out if I believe this team is real or if I'm just waiting for them to kind of taper off.
Have you looked at their wins though?
Not closely. I'll do that right now. So
their best win is arguably the one they had over the Pacers over the Cavs on Friday.
Okay.
So they've played they've beat.
Oh, they've beaten the Cavs twice.
Have they?
Yeah, they won in Cleveland the first week of the season, or the second week of the season.
That was when Cleveland was a mess.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I mean they beat the Raptors by 3.
Yeah.
They've beat the Pistons.
That was a good win. That was back when Detroit was good. But
a lot of it, they haven't had that killer of. Oh, November certainly. It was. Yeah. They beat the Bulls, the Grizz, the Pistons, Heat, Magic. That's not I think they'll come back down to earth a little bit.
Yeah, I think so too. But I also wonder, is it good enough? Well, I guess it's the East, so who cares? But like, is it good enough to make the playoffs? Like, will they sustain this into
Probably.
being a playoff team? And do they? I mean, right now they're the 5 seed.
That's crazy.
But also, like, Washington doesn't have John Wall right now, right? Like, they should be better. Philly should end up being better, although they've lost 4 straight. That's kind of crazy.
I just don't really know who I see in the bottom of the East who is a threat to jump up. Like,
yeah, I think Philly will overtake them. I think Washington will overtake them. I think they can stay about in step
7-8
with Detroit, and then New York should fall out. Maybe Miami gets their stuff together. Maybe Charlotte can get their stuff together and make a run. But yeah, like that is probably just like this is a good enough team to make the playoffs. And sure, it's the East, but whatever. We thought or a lot of people, including myself, thought the Pacers would win 30 to 34 games and not really matter.
They're already at 16. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's pretty easy for the East to beat up on itself, but I mean, does the East still have a winning record against the West right now?
Ooh, that is some kind of math I am unprepared to do right now.
Do the math. Everyone wait while Zach adds.
I don't know, but what I do know is Victor Oladipo is an all-star.
Killing it.
He's an all-star.
For sure. In the East, he's averaging 23 points a game. It's basically 6 more points than he averaged that year he was the man in Orlando.
Right. He's shooting almost 44% from 3. That's crazy.
That'll come down.
I mean,
but
I do think he's a good shooter. I think he's a much better shooter than he showed the first 3 years of his career.
Yeah.
He should be an above average shooter, but this is like Klay Thompson.
Right. And that's the thing. I know Nate McMillan's not a bad coach, but it seems like players have this kind of jump when they go to like a Carlisle or Brad Stevens
team.
team.
D'Antoni.
Yeah. This is wild. I mean, he's still only averaging about 6 attempts a game, but
right.
Yeah, I mean 47 tonight?
Yeah, he killed tonight.
Sheesh.
Yeah, I mean it's nuts. Like he's just, I mean, granted it's Denver. Denver can't stop anybody, but still like 47 points is 47 points.
Yeah.
I guess my question is, I have 2 questions about this. The first one.
Nope, you can only have one.
Oh shit! How do I choose? It's like trying to choose a child.
Have you had to do that before?
Yeah, decided to go away from both of them.
But like,
I chose myself.
Who's the second best player on this team? Miles Turner.
Yeah, Miles Turner.
But it's a Thad Young, Bogdanovich, Darren Collison, Corey Joseph, Domantas Sabonis, Lance Stevenson. Like, that is not a world-beating roster.
Right.
That's what's blowing. Like, I looked at that and I was like, oh yeah, that's gonna be a 10th or 11th in the East type of team.
Like Bogdanovich is shooting 43% from 3. Like, he's a good shooter, but he's not that good. Darren Collison, 37%. He's kind of sneaky with that stuff. Sabonis he's barely taking any, so it doesn't matter. But Corey Joseph's shooting 45% from 3. Like, it's
right.
I guess I don't expect the shooting to keep up. And then if the shooting doesn't keep up and teams adjust off that, how easily can they keep up their offensive prowess? And I guess it's an easy question of like, oh, if they don't shoot as well, they're not going to score points as well. Like, well, of course, but I do think like adjustments will have to be made. I'm not sure what those adjustments are for them.
Right. I have a question for you.
Yeah.
If the Pacers commit 5 fouls in a quarter, are they in Sabonis? Are they?
My question about the Pacers is, do we think that?
Acknowledge me first.
Oh God. No, I don't think they're in Sabonis.
Okay. What's your question?
God. My question is, can anyone else do this podcast with me right now?
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure thousands of dudes on Twitter would love to. They would love to talk dog zits with you.
Yeah, that's true. I'm glad that I could hear you taking a drink after you said that.
This is what you're driving me to.
All right. Well, shit, I forgot my questions. No, one question I have is does it have to be now that I guess everyone's like, whoa, maybe the Pacers won the trade. No, you lost Paul George. That's not winning the trade. But is this enough for a sustainable building block for the future, or is this sort of just random?
I mean, it's the East. So
fair.
You might be good enough to be like an Atlanta Hawks style where you're not having to go through a total. I mean, they're rebuilding this year, obviously, but like you might be able to stay in the playoffs for a really long time.
Right.
But are you going to get a superstar this way? Probably not.
Yeah, I mean, they were always going to have to draft a superstar, right? Like no one's willingly going to be like, oh, I want to play for the Indiana Pacers.
Maybe LeBron wants. Maybe he loves Hoosiers and he really wants to go to Indiana.
Yeah, he probably loves a movie about a bunch of white dudes from a small town beating the black team in the state championship.
I've never seen that movie.
Okay.
Is that actually the plot?
Spoiler alert, that's how it ends.
Aw.
Yeah.
It's like Bring It On.
Right, exactly. It's a lot like Bring It On. It's hard to know which movie stole from the other. You know, it's hard to know.
Impossible to tell.
Impossible to tell. My other question.
For the Gipper from Hoosiers?
No.
That's a different thing.
No.
That's a real life thing, right?
It's win one for the Gipper, not do it for the Gipper.
I'm sorry. I didn't go to the white boy school of inspirational movies.
That's
I don't know.
Okay.
Anyway, what's your other question so we can get this over with?
I hear that a lot, surprisingly. My other question is, okay, immediately it becomes a referendum on the Thunder last year, that Victor Oladipo is this good. Because the idea last year was he had to do everything. He had to get these triple-doubles because they didn't have any help. And now Oladipo is killing it, and people are like, oh, I thought they didn't have any help last year. Is it possible that Oladipo actually just got this much better in the offseason? Like, was he capable of sustaining this level of play last season as a secondary option to Russell Westbrook?
I don't know what went on in the inner workings of Billy Donovan's game planning, but if you're asking me, do I think they really made an effort to make Victor Oladipo a second option? I'd say no. Like, I doubt that they were trying to get this guy out on the floor. So yeah, I do think it's a bit of a referendum on OKC for not figuring it out. Like, they won games because Russ was a monster and he did everything, and no one else really had a great season on that team.
Yeah, see, I think Oladipo got better. I don't think he was this player last year. I think he maybe was capable of showing flashes, and I think he actually had a pretty good season last year. I don't know why everyone seems so down on it, but I think he got better, and I don't think he was this player last year, and so I think that not that absolves Russ of any criticism from last season. I think a lot of that criticism was valid because I don't think they used Steven Adams correctly. Like, I think they can use him better. And so I don't think Vic's play right now retroactively hurts anything that Russ did.
No, I don't think so either. But, last season was Russ's MVP. It was his moment.
Oh, yeah. Like, he was stealing missed free throw rebounds. Like, it was. They
structured it so that he could, get rebounds off of free throw misses. Like, if you were acting like it was anything other than that, then obviously they were winning too because, man, he was ridiculous. But that's probably not sustainable. And but no, I don't know that they were trying to showcase anyone else on that team. I think
that's fair.
I think Oladipo got better, but I don't think they probably did the right thing in the long run by.
Yeah, maybe they're not putting him in situations to succeed in the way they could have.
Right.
I guess what was more important? Was it more important to get Russ as MVP and get him to re-sign their extension?
Right.
Or was it more important to maybe get deeper into the playoffs?
Right. Who knows?
Yeah.
Because, as it stands now, I don't really see Paul George staying.
I don't either. I think they could be a 60-win team this year, and I don't think he would stay.
I think he might, if they were 60 win, but I don't think they will be.
I mean, what I heard before this was actually much earlier in the summer, not just before the season, but much earlier in the summer. But what I heard from a couple of people was essentially the Thunder were...
He was always going to leave.
Yeah, the Thunder either had to win the title or they had to put up an amazing fight against the Warriors or even beat them in order for Paul George to realistically stay next season. Now, this is before they got Carmelo, and this is before, any potential goodness could happen. I think, and I do think things can change, but I don't expect them to. No one really expects them to outside of, OKC. And I think that I also don't think that's necessarily a knock on Russ. I think that Paul George just wants to be elsewhere. Probably the Lakers.
He wants to be the man. It's pretty obvious when you watch the Thunder. Like,
yeah,
he's just not playing how he wants to be playing.
And they I mean, there are problems with finding a rhythm, and it's still early. Like, there's still plenty of time to figure this out. But I don't know. I mean, is this a Miami Heat situation where it's like, oh yeah, they started 9-8, but then they eventually figured it out, made it to the finals, or is this a Dwight Lakers situation where it was just like, they'll eventually figure it out, and then they never did.
Right. I think, to me, Melo, Paul George, and Russ are not LeBron, Chris Bosh, and Dwayne Wade from a personality standpoint. Like,
right.
It's probably a little closer to the Laker Big Three, but I mean, yeah, I don't know how this can work long term, and it's probably not going to. But good for Oladipo for figuring it out, because I don't think I knew he was going to be this guy. No,
I mean, what's funny is this is the guy I thought he was going to be when he got drafted. And then after like 3 years in the league, I was like, well, I guess that's out the window. I'll see you later. So that's not me saying like, oh, I knew. That was me guessing early on and then quickly going, oh, I was wrong about that. Because I think I was. And then all of a sudden he's kind of broken through. Now, if he doesn't shoot 44% from three all season, we'll see how that affects the rest of his game. But right now, like, he's just fun.
Yeah, and I think if it's a condemnation on anybody, it might be on Orlando, honestly. Like,
oh, yeah, Orlando is all kinds of screwed up.
You're giving up on a guy way too early. I mean, there's a couple candidates for most improved player that were on Orlando's team that got given up for basically nothing. So
yeah, and I mean,
Tobias Harris is doing really well.
This was for a rental for Serge Ibaka? Like, that's what you...
Right.
I mean...
Harkless has turned into a real player.
Yeah, Harkless is good. Like,
you could create a whole team that is just guys Orlando gave up on.
Ooh.
And it would be a legit roster.
Yeah. And pretty soon, Mario, he's on your list.
Yeah. Don't make a...
Mario,
don't.
He's on your list.
Don't.
He's on your list.
Stop it.
Remember when Orlando was 8-4?
Yeah, they're not good anymore.
They're 11-17. Goodness.
Listen, on behalf of the Jazz front office, we will take Aaron Gordon from.
Look at you. Is this before or after the Timberwolves trade for Rudy Gobert?
Before that theoretical trade never happens, maybe?
Because, I mean, you and I worked out a deal earlier where Rudy Gobert for Gorgie Jang.
I mean, they were in the same draft class. And technically, Gorgie went first, so higher value.
Higher value, cheaper contract.
Yep.
He only gets like 16, 17 million a year. So
He
you're saving money. You can't afford not to make this trade.
He comes up in the search for the Sagna Jop.
Yeah, it's
a real race problem.
It's not the least racist thing I've ever seen.
No.
That's crazy that happened. Has anyone informed Google?
I tweeted it. Okay. I don't know if Google follows me on Twitter.
Oh.
But you never know.
Yeah, okay. I've got great news.
Is it a live read?
You know what? It can be both.
Okay.
So here's my great news. It looks like Kawhi Leonard's coming back Tuesday.
Oh, yeah.
And
you could put him on your team and draft.
Oh, you could. Because sports fans, fantasy sports fans, listen up! Did you know that your chances of winning on draft are 80% better than on those salary cap sites? We don't do those salary cap sites. Forget crunching those numbers. All we're doing is drafting our team. That's why Draft is our favorite fantasy site. No more getting crushed by the pros. And it's not just us. More than 1 million people have already downloaded Draft onto their smartphones. Playing a real live NBA draft right now. Be done in under 5 minutes. Get paid out tomorrow. Drafts are filling every second, so you can join one whenever you want. All new players get a free entry into a real money draft when you make your first deposit. But you got to use the promo code TalkHoops. That's TalkHoops, all one word. Playing a real money draft for free just by using the promo code TalkHoops. But it gets even better than that, Angie.
Does it? Can it?
It can.
Is it possible?
And it does. It is possible. Draft is so sure you're going to love it. They're even offering TalkHoops listeners a money-back guarantee up to $100 if you don't like it. You just search Draft in your app store or go to draft.com and come play free right now with the promo code TalkHoops. Go ahead and draft yourself Kawhi Leonard Tuesday night in case he comes back.
He does stuff.
He does a lot of stuff. He's great.
Can we just admit I'm better at segues than you?
No.
Well, I'm gonna keep that in my back pocket just for me then.
Here's the scary thing. I know we've discussed this real nerddom of last year where the numbers were actually better for San Antonio with Kawhi off the floor defensively. Mm-hmm. But this team is 4th in the NBA in defensive rating, and they're about to get the best defender in the NBA back in Kawhi Leonard. That's scary. It's scary that they can be that good with like LaMarcus Aldridge and Pau Gasol and Patty Mills and Kyle Anderson, and now they get Kawhi back.
And it's wild too that how upset Spurs fans were when Kyle Anderson got hurt. Like, oh, you can't lose that guy. Pop should win. He should win it every year.
Every single year. It's ridiculous.
It's a real LeBron James MVP situation. We're going to look back and we're like, Pop got it once?
Wait, has he only won it once?
Maybe I made that up.
Oh, that might be right. Awards. Coach of the Year. Greg Popovich has won it.
Welcome to narrating our Google search.
3 times.
Oh, okay.
But still, 3 times?
Jerry Sloan never won it.
Yeah, Jerry Sloan never won it. Sam Mitchell has one, and Jerry Sloan doesn't. So just let that.
So does what's his face?
I mean, shit. Larry Bird has one. And
Larry Bird has one.
He was a good coach for the Pacers, but Larry Bird has one. Del Harris.
There's some real bad ones.
Avery Johnson.
Oof.
Scott Brooks has one. Mike Brown has one.
Byron Scott. That might be the most egregious.
Oof. Yeah, either him or
Sam Mitchell.
Yeah, maybe Sam Mitchell. I'm trying to think if there's a worse one I can see. That Scott Brooks one may end up looking real bad.
It's a lot of old white guys on here.
Yeah.
Byron Scott.
And it wasn't even when his team was going to the finals.
No.
This is for the Hornets.
Mike Brown, which is also just a LeBron MVP.
Yeah, that's really LeBron got Coach of the Year. No offense to Mike Brown, but that was just like, what else can we do? They're starting Sasha Pavlovich. We need to give them more stuff.
I think we need more Sashas in the league. I don't like not having a Sasha in the league.
Yeah, but the alternative is Sasha Vujacic comes back.
Ooh, good point.
That wasn't fun for anybody.
It's true. He taunted the Utah crowd. I think it was 2 seasons ago. The Knicks were down like 30, and he like hit a long 2 and then shushed the crowd.
Wow, I like that.
Quarter. It was a real power move.
I like that.
Do you?
Yeah.
Have you ever shushed a crowd before?
I did.
In high school?
No, at the And One mixtape open run.
Did you feel good about it?
So this is like 2001. It was before the And One mixtape tour got really big. This is like they were doing like maybe 6 or 8 cities or something like that, and Sacramento was one of them. And so I was the second person in line. Like I was at that place all day. It was called like, what was that called? Like Basketball Town or something. There was some like gym that had a bunch of courts that you could pay like $10 to go play in, just outside of Sacramento. It's called like Basketball Town, I think. And I showed up. I waited there for hours, and then it was just like, first come first serve in terms of signing up for games and everything. And when guys come through, and so the first and this is when I had grown out my hair like super long.
I think we need pictures
on a bet. There's a picture, so I'll find you a picture. But yeah, I grew out super long as a bet. And so it was a little Steve Nash-ish, except like good hair. And so I like me, I'm this, goofy looking white guy with long hair on this court, like and everyone's trying to do like street ball moves and stuff. And I was pretty good at that stuff. But the first play I got the ball because they did not want to pass me the ball because of probably how I looked. But the first play I got the ball, I bring the ball up the court, and I, like, no shit, took like a 35-foot jumper. I mean, it was so deep, and I airballed it. Like, I came up like 4 feet short on the shot, and the crowd starts like giving me so much shit, and so I start talking back to the crowd or whatever. And then a couple plays later, I came down the court, and I did a fake behind the back pass, like wrapped it around to myself, and made the guy in front of me react, and then I whipped a behind the back pass immediately after, like right by his head to someone who dunked it.
Wait, you passed the ball? I don't understand.
Right. Well, yeah, this is very uncharacteristic of me. But like, so I pulled out, like, it was a pretty sick play. Like I fooled the guy with a fake behind the back pass, and then I whipped a pass really like by his ear to a guy cutting who dunked it. So like fun highlight. And so then I shushed the crowd off a pass, off an assist. It was so weak.
I think I need someone on Twitter to Photoshop a GIF, like an imaginary scenario.
It's such a weak trash talk moment. Like, I've had some great trash talk moments. It was such a weak one of me shushing the crowd off a behind the back pass.
Maybe we can get Patrick Truby to illustrate what happened in black and white pen, because I think that's...
Shout out to Patrick Truby, by the way, who's a genius artist. You guys should follow him.
He's amazing. Yeah. How does he not have, like, 500,000 followers? I'll never understand. He needs more nudes. Patrick, more nudes.
Yeah, more nudes for sure. I feel like that's enough basketball. We were going to talk about one more thing, weren't we? I don't remember what it was, though.
We kind of didn't really talk about Kawhi. I mean, sort of.
Oh, he's coming back. Like, the Spurs are one of the best teams in the league right now, and they haven't had their best player.
Right.
And he's going to come back and solve a lot of their offensive issues, and they're going to be monsters defensively.
We'll have to watch less LaMarcus Aldridge post-ups.
Fan of that. And I think the rest of the season, assuming Kawhi gets back to 100% and he doesn't miss a lot of time, it's not like an in and out of the lineup thing. I think they'll be the second best team in the league.
Who are they? Are they passing Houston?
Yeah, and that's not a knock on Houston. I just think the Spurs will be that good.
See, I have a hard time believing Houston's gonna get knocked off. They've been so good.
I believe their defense is good. I don't think it's this good.
I don't think they'll be the same team in the playoffs.
Right. But for the regular season, they're just monsters, right? Like that's a shitty way to have to play against every night on random nights.
I just don't see Houston falling off unless.
Oh, I'm not saying they're going to pass them. I'm saying.
So are they going to pass the Warriors?
No. I'm not saying they'll be the 2 seed. I'm saying from now until the end of the season, they will be the second best team in the league.
Okay.
Yeah. Like defensive or like net rating wise, record wise, all of that.
So the nerdy way.
The super nerdy way. I'm shushing you on a behind the back pass kind of way.
I can't believe you did that.
Oh man,
that takes more confidence than I've ever had in my entire life.
Yeah, and back then I was a real shithead. That's probably a shocking development to you, but I was just a real hothead trash talker.
Just when you were getting in fights?
Yes. Yeah, back in my fisticuff days. I didn't get a lot of fights, but enough to be dumb. Okay, let's do some SnarkHoops questions. Which, if you follow the instructions,
you're not an idiot,
tweets,
Aaron Falk. You actually know how to use a hashtag.
There's no way he listens to this. We love your questions, But you need to tag them with hashtag SnarkHoops.
Not at SnarkHoops.
Not at
Does
SnarkHoops.
someone have that,
I'm gonna look it up right now.
by the way?
SnarkHoops. What if this is like a parody account of me? No, SnarkHoops is available.
Why wouldn't it? I think you should probably grab that. Why would it be a parody account of you and not of me?
Oh, good question.
Zach.
I guess that was sexist.
Yeah, you've undid all the chivalry you.
Oh, I don't know. That chivalry with the hashtag is some
Not
kind of,
real.
it's some kind of gentleman. All right.
Some kind.
Did any questions catch your eye?
Yeah, I liked quite a few of them.
Okay.
Let's see.
Is it,
You go first.
I was going to be chivalrous and let you handle the questions.
Oh, I can do that.
But
Because last time you didn't even give me a window, so that's fair. Again, it's just
right.
real Vivek 40 on Twitter said, "I have one question for Angie. How dare you?"
Agreed.
Because I didn't want to answer any Nick Cage questions. That was like all of it was either action movies or it was all your brand, which I get it. It's stronger than mine.
Right.
Whatever.
But I mean, it's 103,000 followers. Who's to say whose brand is stronger?
I mean, you're like, blah, 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 no pants, blah, 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 Minnesota Timberwolves, blah, blah,
I
blah.
am not tweeting about the Timberwolves anymore.
Tiny
on-
houses.
I'm out on tweeting about the Timberwolves. I can't handle this anymore. I can't handle this season.
Could you tweet about it and not check your mentions?
I should just close my mentions.
I mean, it's the power move.
Yeah. That is a power move.
So, Rick the Slick 1 on Twitter asks, is Bigfoot real? Also, have you seen Harry and the Hendersons? Is it true that it is the best John Lithgow movie of all time?
Ooh, I don't think it's the best John Lithgow movie, but it's good. It's up there. Have you seen Harry and There's no way you've seen Harry and the Hendersons.
I have very long time ago, and it didn't make a huge impression.
Can I say that this answer sounds made up?
What answer? Mine?
Yeah, it sounds like you're lying.
No,
I don't think
I
you've
have
seen
a
it.
very vivid memory of watching it in my friend Courtney Jensen's basement, Zach.
Also sounds like a made up person.
He was in Cliffhanger?
I thought you were saying Courtney Jensen was in Cliffhanger.
No.
Yeah, he's in Cliffhanger. My favorite John Lithgow movie is Ricochet. That's a
made up movie.
No, it's with him and Denzel. He's the bad guy. Ice-T's in it. It's a really, really fun early 90s action movie.
All right.
Yeah.
He's better known for his TV than his movies.
Yeah, Third Rock from the Sun. He's good in Orange County.
Dexter.
Oh, I didn't know. I knew he was on Dexter. I've never seen Dexter.
That show is a real roller coaster of good and trash. So,
Okay.
like, if you started it, it's got a real next ending where it ends and you're like, oh, why did I watch this?
Oh, okay.
Why did I waste so much time? And it's way more than 90 minutes you'd waste watching that whole thing.
Okay.
Um,
I have a question. Oh, well, no, we can finish answer this one.
I'm trying to see any other movies.
We're probably
Dreamgirls?
We probably missed one that people are going, how did you not mention this movie?
I'm sure we'll get yelled at later.
Yeah.
But he's definitely best on TV. He's so good in The Crown. Have you watched that?
No, I was actually just going to ask you about that because as I was getting to Gilmore Girls, I saw a thing for The Crown.
Yeah, he's a great Churchill.
Okay.
So I would highly recommend that. That's a great show. That's a low-key, incredible feminist show. So
Okay.
everyone should watch it if you're into gender equality and that sort of thing.
Which,
strong female protagonists, you know.
Which, if you're listening to a basketball podcast on the internet, I know you
Listen,
are.
I haven't had any sexist
That's
mention.
shocking to me. Shout out to our listeners for not being sexist dicks to you about any of this stuff. That's shocking to me.
Yeah,
I just assume that's with every podcast.
I mean, I get it when I tweet gender stuff, but like
Sure.
from the podcast, I haven't. Like, oh boy, when I tweeted about the Derrick Rose rape case.
Ooh. Well, because you're also you're getting stuff from people who don't like any accusation of rape.
Right. Rape doesn't exist.
Right. It's a how do we know she's telling the truth? That like you get a lot of that. And 2, you're dealing with a very strong Derrick Rose hive.
Yeah, that's a real thing.
It's a real thing. It's still a thing. I had people a month ago from Chicago telling me I didn't know what I was talking about. He's a top 10 point guard in this league.
You can just say it was Tony Jones.
It surprisingly was not Tony Jones. I think Tony Jones come around on this.
You can just add him.
Shout out to Tony, by the way. I miss that guy.
Oh, he's so much fun. We had an all-time great post-game, like, sitting around and talking nonsense. Like, a week ago on Friday, it was Kareem Copeland, who writes for AP, Kyle Goon, Andy Larson, and it was a perfect ratio of, like, people who roast other people and people who are perfect for roasting.
Sure.
So it was a real, like, I sprained my fingers from doing the chef's kiss so many times because it was so good.
Wow, that's a weird reaction to have in general to anything.
No, it was hilarious, and Kareem's the best. And
yeah, Kareem's great.
Anyway, you didn't hang out enough when you were in Salt Lake. Can I shame you in public for that?
All right, Shakeem the Dream asks. Now this is a weird question to me, but it fascinated me. What's the protocol when you find out people who you thought were married are actually just roommates? I didn't know this was possible.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, but now now please tweet us back, Shakeem, with I
need more details.
Yeah, I need a thread of details about this.
Like I know there was the whole White Stripes thing. Have you heard that?
Are they brother and sister or are they married?
See, that's the thing. They told everyone they were brother and sister, but they weren't married.
Oh.
That's what's weird about it.
Oh, shout out to Arkansas. Are they from Arkansas?
Real big Roy Moore supporters. No. I don't know where Jack White's from. I know he lives in Tennessee.
Okay.
Quick Google search.
That also sounds about right.
Jack White's really good in Cold Mountain. Have you seen that movie?
Yes. Excellent.
It's so good. Have you read the book?
I have not read the book.
He's from Detroit.
Oh, okay. Shout out to Motown.
Yeah.
Jackson Safan wants to know
what happened to me choosing questions.
You didn't have any ready.
Okay, go.
What's your favorite basketball game you've ever attended live?
This is the one I was most emotionally invested in. Was the last? I think it was the last year, second to last year of the Paul Millsap, Al Jefferson Jazz. And they were playing the Phoenix Suns. This was Nash's final year in Phoenix. And they were playing them basically for the 8th seed. I think there was a couple games left, but basically if the Jazz won and Phoenix lost, there was no chance Phoenix could make it in. And I went with my oldest sister, Marin, and this ties into her question. She had a question for us a few days ago about, have you ever, what's the closest you've ever come to nervous vomiting at a sporting event?
Oh, yeah.
And her season ticket, she has season tickets, and we were like, front row upper bowl, and we were both going to be sick because we were so nervous. So we had to like do laps around the upper bowl, and we would just check in at the concessions because they have TVs and just kind of listen for cheers. But we had to get that nervous energy out because I used to not be able to eat before I'd go to basketball games because I'd get so nervous. I know.
God.
Listen, I'm a hugely empathetic person, so I felt all of that nervous energy. I don't feel it anymore so much for obvious reasons. I can eat. I go ham on that soft serve at Vivint Arena now.
Oh, I had to stop.
Why?
Because I didn't want to get fatter.
Get fat?
Yeah, I didn't want to get fatter.
That's too mean.
No, because then no, it's accurate. I mean, I didn't like just eating soft serve. Every game, like I just had to cut it out.
They've got this like spicy snack mix there now that like I can't stay away from. So yeah, that's the most. And then they won, and so it was a really exciting. There's like a really iconic picture on Jazz Twitter of Paul Millsap and Al Jefferson hugging because it was, I think it was Al's first ever playoff.
Okay.
He made. Is that right? I feel like Minnesota
didn't make the playoffs with him.
Right, but the Celtics were bad when he was a Celtic. So I think it was his first playoff series.
Yeah.
So there's this really iconic bro hug photo, and yeah, A, almost vomited out of nervousness, and B, was like super stoked because that team was fun.
I'm trying to think what mine would be. I think what's up?
Was it your behind the back pass?
No.
That you ended up shushing the crowd?
No, it wasn't that one. Although that's a good moment.
That's horrifying.
What happened? Let me see. I mean, maybe my favorite is Corey Brewer scoring 51 in a game.
That was pretty awesome.
That was
Mo Williams.
Not Mo. I wasn't at Mo Williams' game. I was at Corey Brewer's, and that was just a fun game because you had no idea what was happening. But also, I think the first time I was there for a title clinching was 2014 when the Spurs beat the Heat. Mm-hmm. And I don't think it was a good game, but just like being in an arena for a title clinching game was a cool experience. Like, it was cool to watch the Spurs fans like get excited and I think everyone knew they were going to win the series at that point because they had handled the Heat pretty. I mean, they had destroyed them in Miami the previous two games, and then they were in San Antonio for Game 5. But that was a cool moment to be a part of.
Were you in Oakland for the Cavs winning the championship?
No.
Oh, was this the sore subject?
What are the statute of limitations on being screwed over by a former workplace?
I think you could talk about it. Is this the one they wouldn't fly you out for?
I'll just say that I got screwed over for travel in a very unfair way there. And
it was just that game, right? Or did you travel?
No, it was the entire finals.
Oh yeah, that sucks. That's a bad one to miss.
And the oh man, I probably shouldn't be telling. I'm not gonna say any names or whatever. But the real clincher was the last game. Last game I got to go to was Game 7 of Thunder Warriors.
Okay, that's a good one.
It's fine. It's not the most historic comeback in NBA history. It's not that.
No.
But yeah, I got to go to that, and the way they were selling it to me was like as the finals were going, they were like, "Hey man, like, in a way, getting to be a part of the Game 7 of the Thunder Warriors will probably end up being like a cooler moment than anything that happens in the finals." Ooh. And then every Game 5 happens, Game 6 happens, and then the end of Game 7, I was just like, you words I can't say right now.
Yeah, that's a real cold take.
Yeah.
In retrospect.
Yeah, real cold take. Anthony Canton III wants to know.
I was just going to read this one.
Oh, okay, you go ahead.
Can I read it?
Yeah.
What's the movie that comes on TV that no matter what you're doing, you stop and watch the whole movie?
I think we have the same one.
You and I do?
Yeah.
What?
Do we not?
Do we?
Forgetting Sarah Marshall?
Oh, yeah. That never comes on TV.
Oh, it's on TV all the time.
Oh, I don't have cable, so
what?
That's probably.
Oh my God.
But when it used to, back in the day, Vegas Vacation, I used to watch all the time.
Yeah, Nick Papagiorgio.
Nick Papagiorgio. Did I tell you my buddy I used to work with, that was his burner Gmail account? And he gave it to somebody once, and I was like, did you just say papagiorgio@gmail.com? And we bonded over our Vegas Vacation appreciation. Shouts to Ethan Embry.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fools Rush In. Mine are going to be real 90s because that's when I was watching a lot of network TV.
Sure. Yeah, Fools Rush In's a great one.
Pride and Prejudice I'll always watch. But Forgetting Sarah Marshall, it's the perfect movie.
Yeah. And then, for a while, there was a long time where White Men Can't Jump was on all the time.
Never seen that one.
Ooh, you gotta fix that.
I know.
Let's see. What Sean Rosales wants to know, what current NBA player doesn't have enough stands? I think it's Kevin Durant. His burner accounts don't qualify here.
That is interesting.
It's how many big Kevin Durant fans have you seen out there? It's he's
they're all Russ stands, right?
Right. He's historically great. He's a historically great player that no one capes for. That's weird.
Well, here's in an interesting situation because it was people caping for him and Russ, and then when he quote unquote abandoned Russ, everyone doubled down on
Russ, right?
On being a Westbrook fan, and then he went to a team where there was already Steph stands.
Right, exactly. Like, I think Warriors fans will cape for him, but not over Steph.
Or even Draymond. I feel like there's way more like...
I doubt they'd do it over Clay.
Right. He's like the 4th most caped for guy on that team.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That is crazy.
It's weird.
That's really weird.
It's really weird. Sean Rosales also wants to know, what is your go-to movie snack?
Red Vines.
Oh, see, all right. Now, I went the Red Vine route last time I was at the movies, and it was a great decision.
Yeah, it's not heavy. Like you can snack on a whole package of Red Vines. You can make it last pretty long, and you're not gonna like get sick of it at the end.
Or you can eat them within 5 minutes and not even know it.
Yeah, and it's not super noisy. I mean, anything in a plastic wrap is gonna make. Boogie, would you relax?
Huge Red Vine fan.
Is he?
No, he doesn't get people food.
That's good.
That's not true. I gave him a little sliver of bacon that fell on the floor yesterday. He went nuts.
He went ham?
Yeah. Well, he went bacon.
He went bacon?
Yeah.
Damn it, Zach.
All right. What else?
I like this. Nikki Aggie? Is that?
Sure.
What's the most embarrassing internet rabbit hole you've ever gone down?
Man.
Mine might have been 2 days ago.
Oh, boy.
I don't know if I can talk about that one, though.
Why not?
Because it's embarrassing.
I was telling everybody about it last night.
Why don't you make that yours then?
Okay. Well, I don't know what yours is, but mine is definitely about stories of people having sex with ghosts. This is I was captivated.
Uh-huh.
I get the whole 50 Shades of Grey thing now.
I don't think that's about ghosts.
50 Shades of Ghoul?
Ooh. If it was a James Bond movie, it'd be Spectre.
Jesus. But no, there are people who think they've had sex with ghosts.
Ghosts of Christmas. Never mind. Yeah,
Ghosts of Christmas ass? Is that not? It might be too far.
Oh, but there's there's a story about a woman who is like, listen, my house is haunted. A couple of them are animals. And then one night I was like, hey, if any ghost wants to come into my room tonight, I'm open for whatever experience I'm about to happen.
It's not just that. It's not a home. It's a trailer park.
Oh, it's a trailer park.
She lives in a trailer park, and I don't think she knew. I don't think she knew whether an animal ghost or a human ghost had sex with her.
She said she felt like it was a human.
Felt like is not. I know it was a human.
She's like, I would wake up and my hips were moving.
Yeah,
and
my hips were moving.
And then I'd go to sleep and it'd be fine. I was like, how much meth did you do before you went to sleep that night?
The greatest, I really do recommend finding these stories because the comment section are just chef kissing fingers, everything.
Yeah. I mean, it's simultaneously people being like, I don't think that's real. And then people being like, wow, slut.
Yeah.
You just sleeping with any ghost that haunts your trailer park?
Someone did ask if they got a spiritually transmitted disease.
Oh,
that was
that's
great.
Incredible. That's
there was
incredible.
also a question on logistics that I will not repeat here, but I'm sure you can figure out what that means. All right. What's another question we can answer?
Is it possible people just think ghosts are sheets? Since we've been conditioned to think that since the Charlie Brown days, that it's someone with a sheet over their head, and they're like, there was a ghost in my bed, and he's like, no, bro, that's a top sheet.
Okay, I'm into this.
No, it's not great. Do you know what's a really bad internet rabbit hole I've gone down?
What?
That for hours. So there's this whole thing called reborns. They're very lifelike looking dolls that people. So there's people who paint them and sell them, and there's people who buy them and they give them names.
They're having sex with them.
No.
100%.
And I thought at first it was
100%.
I thought it was a thing. They're baby dolls.
Doesn't matter.
I know we just went through this whole ghost thing, but
no, you've seen those sex dolls. You tell me
these aren't sex dolls.
I'm telling you though, people are buying those for horrendous things.
At first, I thought this was So if you go to the hashtag reborns of Instagram, they have a ton of these. But I thought it was people who'd maybe like lost children and were, kind of doing this as a coping mechanism. No, it's just people who they'll like carry them outside with them. They take them to the grocery store, but they're really lifelike. And some of them are super creepy. Like you can buy ones that are Siamese twins or ones that are fairies. And it's like there's this one where this woman took a picture of this baby and said, Briella is not impressed with football. She decided sleep was much more important. And it's a doll. Like
I don't like any of what you're saying right now.
I went down this rabbit hole. It must have been 1:30 in the morning. It was just, I could not make it stop. I don't have self-control when it comes, especially like Instagram rabbit holes. Ooh. Such a deep dive. I'm texting you all of these.
Oh, no, I just saw. Oh, don't send me this.
I am sending them all to you.
These are awful.
Yeah, people, this is a whole lifestyle.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yep.
Oh,
so that's in a real battle with ghost sex for the weirdest thing.
That's worse. That's so much worse than ghost sex. Ghost sex is completely normal.
What an incredible sentence to say.
I don't like this.
They're so good. Oh, thanks for the great question, Nick.
That's a terrible question. What else do we have?
What rookie
Francis,
be the best in 5 years?
Best in 5 years. Who asked that? Down to dunk.
Ben Simmons.
Yeah, it's Ben Simmons.
Because he's not just a good player on a bad team. He's got skills that are very modern in today's game and are going to translate. He doesn't have to do. He's not a Michael Carter Williams, right? He's not overachieving on a terrible team.
No,
he's generally very good.
Yeah. Francis Adu Jr. asks, if you had to poll every player, executive, and coach in the NBA on what their favorite actor or actress is, which actor or actress do you think would win? I'm going to say Denzel.
I was just going to say Denzel.
Yeah, I think that's a no-brainer.
And if it was TV show, Martin would win. Like, that's just... I listened to enough Media Day questions to know that it's definitely a Denzel.
Or Empire or Power. Those are all... And obviously, like, heavily black league, like, that's... You're going to get more black entertainment than not. Right. Let's see. What two
NBA players would you want to see the love child of? Taking into account skill, personality, ego, Ricky Rubio's eyes, etc. From Eric Christiansen. Easy monster.
This one's for you as someone who loves content. The love child of Giannis and Joel Embiid.
That'd be very good.
Memes on top of memes. Not to mention highlights.
What if we're just going real Frankenstein here and we do like LeBron James and JJ Barea?
Oh, I was gonna say Tyler Ulis and Timothy Mozgov.
Okay. Yeah. I wouldn't want to watch what scientists would have to do to create that, but I'd be there for whatever came out of it.
Sure. Another great question from Sean Rosales. Who wins in a fight, John Wick Keanu, The Matrix Keanu, or Constantine Keanu? It's John Wick. That's the one bullet that Matrix Keanu could not dodge, is a John Wick headshot. So I think, and Constantine Keanu, get out.
Isn't he the devil in Constantine?
Sort of.
Or he fights the devil?
Sort of, yeah. Really, the devil's inside all of us when you really think about it.
Uh-huh.
Big Country Kyle wants to know who's the better action star in their prime, Arnold Schwarzenegger or Sylvester Stallone. I'm going to go Arnold.
Why are you picking all the you-oriented questions? Again, you're undoing all the chivalry.
I still feel pretty chivalrous. All right, you pick a question.
Most annoying thing a fan sitting next to you or near you has ever done. From James Moresco.
I'll say what the nicest thing one's ever done. Just took a picture of me and two fans.
Listen, You're allowed to have that be your favorite thing
That
ever.
was a great moment for me.
It can be a highlight for you.
Yeah.
That they're like, hey, you're Angie, right? Cool. We really want a picture with Zach.
Yeah, that was a great moment. Shout out to those fans. I hope they're listening.
I had a guy behind me at a game once. There was two fans that would not stop talking. Mm-hmm. And this is before I was press. And this was right before the Jabari Parker, Andrew Wiggins draft.
Okay.
And so they were talking about, these are the guys coming out of Kentucky, and the Jazz really want Andrew Wiggins because he's Mormon.
Please stop sending these to me.
I said the last one a while ago.
Okay, I just saw it. Sorry, keep going.
So this guy just would not shut up and had just like hot take after hot take. And I'm sure there's something emasculating about having, I don't know what I was then, like 25-year-old woman turn around and be like, it's Jabari Parker that's Mormon, you prick. Like, it's like Andrew Wiggins, he's just like, yeah, he wants this Wiggins kid out of Duke because he's LDS. Like, how dumb is that? And I was like, you idiot.
Wow.
So basically it's when anyone, I got shushed at a game once.
You got shushed?
By an old man. He whacked my shoulder and told me to stop talking. Yeah.
That's not acceptable.
It wasn't even a game. It was, when teams have like open practices.
Yeah.
They'll have like the one open practice before the season starts. And it was at that. And I was sitting there with my sister Marin and our friend Spencer Hall. And we're chatting or whatever. And first of all, it's free. Second of all, it's just like an open scrimmage for the fans. And he whacked me on the shoulder and told me to stop talking.
Wow.
I was like floored that someone would do that at a sporting event.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
Standing, like I wasn't. I think I was talking loud enough so that like people next to me could hear. Obviously, the people I was with could hear me, but I was like, "Geez."
Huh. That's kind of crazy.
Do you have an answer for that or no?
No, I don't really. I kind of tune out people at games. Like when I've gone as a fan, and I'm trying to think, like I haven't gone as a fan really in a long time.
What about like a Dodger game then? Like it doesn't have to be a basketball game.
Well, I guess this wasn't really anyone's fault. It wasn't anything annoying, but we sat in like at the Dodgers Cubs playoff game we went to. We sat in like the handicap seats. Mm-hmm. Like somehow that's the game we bought tickets for. Or those are the seats we bought tickets for.
You bought tickets to the handicap game?
Yeah,
is what you're saying?
We bought like the handicap seats at like the top of the bottom level.
Sure.
And so we were trying to figure, and we were confused because we didn't realize this. So we're trying to figure out where our seats are. So we go up to this guy and we're like, "Hey, we think you're in our seats." And he goes, "These are my seats." We're like, "Oh, okay, sorry." And then we went over to the other section, and in the other section there was someone in an actual wheelchair. Like sitting with family or whatever, and so we asked the usher, and she's like, "Oh no, you're in this section over here." And so we had to go back to that section, and like we're like, "Hey, these are our seats," and the guy was like, "Okay," and he walked away. We're like, what is that?
Male entitlement, am I right?
I guess.
White guys, am I right?
White guys.
Was he white?
Sure. He was definitely white.
Yeah.
And we got those seats using SeatGeek, which is buying tickets to sports and concerts can be complicated. It can be confusing. But there's a better way to buy, and that's with SeatGeek. SeatGeek's smartest, easiest way to get tickets every type of live event, whether you're searching for a last-minute deal, planning a night out, getting that perfect gift for the holiday season. SeatGeek helps you find the best seats at the best prices, fully guaranteed. I've got the app on my phone. Angie, I know you have it on your phone. I'm currently searching for Georgia Bulldog tickets for the Rose Bowl so my dad can watch them maybe beat Oklahoma, but probably lose. Just because I know he's expecting them to lose, he keeps his expectations low. But with SeatGeek, you should keep your expectations high because they're saving you time and money by searching multiple ticket sites to compare prices and find amazing deals. Get the best and most bang for your buck because they grade every ticket based on value to help you immediately identify the best seats that fit your budget. Every purchase fully guaranteed so you can shop with confidence. And that makes it the easiest way and the best way to find tickets to sports, concerts, comedy, theater. This is a call to action, Angie. I got to read it.
Jade.
I got to read it. Our listeners, you get $20 off your first SeatGeek purchase by find a way to work in TV or comedy or something.
That's a good answer.
Yeah.
I'd probably be writing. Like, I'd probably try to freelance until I got a gig. Before I got into working in sports full time, I worked in news. So I was at the local NBC affiliate for their .com site, working in like writing entertainment stuff. So I'd probably be doing something like that.
Okay.
I would also like to do the comedy route. Like in theory, in the back of my mind, if I were redoing my life, like I would have moved to LA to try to be a comedy writer. So I don't know if that's realistic, but that's probably what I would have done.
Maybe you have met some friends along the way.
Right.
You'd be out there, Hollywood sign right now, having a drink.
Right.
People telling you don't jump. You'll get a gig.
And I'll say, this is all I got left, man. I can't do it anymore.
Just this bottle of Boone's Farm and just got these wine coolers.
It's just a real bright future either way.
Yeah. And what are the movie questions? One I'm ashamed I've never seen.
Yeah. What's something you're ashamed you've never seen, and what's a movie you've seen multiple times that you're most ashamed of seeing? Okay. Which I don't believe in.
There's definitely. Yeah, there's. Definitely.
Okay. What's yours?
I'm not ashamed that I've never seen Lion King.
It's a bad one, though.
I'm fine with it. I'm actually ashamed I've never seen Up.
More than Lion King, huh?
Yeah. Because I actually have interest in seeing Up. At this point, I don't care if I ever see Lion King. And it's not that I think it's going to be bad or what. I just don't care.
Okay.
It's been long enough, like, I just don't care anymore.
You're ashamed of not seeing Up? Is it afraid you're afraid you're going to cry in the first 5 minutes?
No, I'm just afraid of heights. No. No, I don't know why I've never seen it. I want to see it. I just never have.
That's fair. When your nieces are around, you guys should watch it.
Yeah.
Have you seen Moana?
No, but I want to see that as well.
That's on Netflix.
Okay, I'll watch that.
The Rock is so good in it. And Jermaine Clement's in it, and he's incredible.
Oh, he's great.
He does David Bowie is a crab, basically. So
okay.
Jermaine Clement as David Bowie as a crab.
All right. I'm into that.
If that's enough for you.
What's the movie you're ashamed you've never seen?
Until recently, it was Schindler's List.
Oh.
I'd never seen.
Okay.
But I've seen that in the last 6 months.
Yeah, it's a heavy one.
Yeah, I just it's one, I know it's going to be a quality experience. It's just it's just getting yourself, you're never in the mood to watch Schindler's List.
Right.
Are you? I mean,
I can't imagine.
If you want cinematic excellence and big Liam Neeson person, I get it. But
then you watch Taken.
Right. But it's I felt the same way about watching 12 Years a Slave. You're never going to be in the mindset I really want to watch this.
Yeah.
So I had to just do it. A movie I'm ashamed of not watching.
No, a movie you're ashamed. Oh wait, yeah, you still haven't answered that.
As a movie buff, I feel bad I've never seen Citizen Kane.
It's fine.
Okay.
I think it was great for the time, and I think it was great for probably the next 40 years, and now it's we gotta move on.
Right. I just have a real problem where I tend to rewatching movies instead of watching new movies, so I have a hard time getting myself, because they say if you're kind of a creative personality, you like rewatching because it allows your brain to slow down, because
I get that.
You know what's going to happen, so your brain slows down to this really pleasant rate of processing things, and you're not all over the place. So that's why creative people tend to rewatch instead of watch new stuff all the time.
Okay.
And a movie I've seen multiple times and I'm ashamed. Oh man. See, that's I've seen so many bad movies and I'm just not ashamed of it.
I can give you mine if you'd like.
Yeah, go.
Maybe this will spark something for you. Gigli.
You've seen that multiple times.
I've seen it almost 3 times.
What made you stop the third time?
I was 25 minutes into Gigli a third time, and I just remember stopping and going, "What am I doing with my life? Why am I do I think I'm getting some kind of badge of honor by telling people I've watched it 3 times? No, it sucks. It's really bad.
Oh, I might have mine.
Okay.
Daredevil. I've seen multiple times.
Yeah, that movie sucks.
Ben Affleck. I had the soundtrack.
Okay. Sure.
I saw it in the theaters.
Sure.
It's pretty bad. Like, I wouldn't watch that now, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Why do you get to judge me? That's what I don't understand.
I didn't have the soundtrack to Gigli.
You still watched it 2 and some times.
2 and a third, I think, maybe. Not a third, but 2 and a fourth, maybe. I don't know how long the movie is. It's too long.
I think that was I think we got good questions.
Yeah, we got great questions this time. I was into that.
Way to go, guys.
Yeah, good job. Good job, listeners. Anything else? I don't think so. I thought there was one more that caught my eye, but maybe not. Oh, no! This is the one I wanted to... This is the one. And it wasn't tagged, so I shouldn't answer it. But Metal Hoopshead wants to know, what would it take for you to no longer be Team Dead Inside?
Ooh.
I mean, I don't know that it's possible.
Here's the thing about being Team Dead Inside. It's a way to protect yourself.
Yeah.
It's like, if your expectations are never too high, then it doesn't mean like you don't feel good. It doesn't mean stuff doesn't make you feel good. It's just like, my expectation is nothing good is going to happen. Right?
Right. No, I'm with you.
And then when something bad happens, you can just be like, you could just unplug. And I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, maybe like...
For me, it would have to be a restoration of expectations, like where I just expect to have everything. And maybe that's being born a white man, and I just never was, so... I
mean, I'm a white man. I'm pretty dead inside.
It's true.
Yeah, I mean, what an uplifting way to end this podcast, but I don't think there's a way not to be Team Dead Inside.
I think the problem is assuming being Team Dead Inside is a bad thing.
Right. It's actually quite liberating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still have fun. I still enjoy things.
Sure.
Do I think life's always going to work out for me the way I hope it will? Hell no.
I ate a brownie, and it was I had a fantastic time. Really enjoyed the brownie.
How special of a brownie was it?
No, it was totally normal Betty Crocker brownie. Milk chocolate Betty Crocker brownie. Ate it. Was very happy in the moment.
Right.
And then I died immediately after.
Then you passed out on the couch.
I passed out on the couch.
That's fair.
Without spilling a drink. It was great. All right.
See?
Well,
overachieving.
We overachieved. We did it. Follow you on Twitter at @snark_tank, 1280 Sports, 1280 The Zone, Utah Jazz.
Yep, those are all things.
All things that
use the hashtag SnarkHoops if you want to ask us more questions.
Yes, and you can ask them throughout the week and at any time, and we will bank them if they're good, and we will answer them on the podcast. Leverage chat for all of our podcasts. Unsubscribe and resubscribe to them if you can. Leave a 5-star review if you can, because that really helps us out. And tell friends. Illegally download it onto their computers and their phones. And find ways to support Here's
the really good way to do it this holiday season, because I feel like everyone's getting new technology, and like your grandma and your parents are going to be asking you, hey, can you teach me how to do this thing? And then you're like, yeah. And then you grab their phone, pull up podcasts, download BOMM, download Talk Hoops, download Pack Your Knives. You could do all of that.
Yeah, do it all. Okay, that's a good way to do it. And read me on fanragsports.com/NBA. Don't follow me on Twitter. I don't think you need to.
He already said he has enough.
I got plenty. Thanks, Angie.
You're welcome.